Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
What is going on, true believers? I hope you're having a great morning. My name's Bleaves. We're here to talk about this crazy crypto world. And by the way, new tool over here. Your chat comments are going to be on the screen right now. So be a good boy and don't say anything weird, I want to say. So let's get after it. So guys, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button on the way in. The market has started to move. Today, I think, is the day, or at least it feels like this could be the day when Bitcoin again achieves an all-time high. So if you're not already, today might be a really good day to go long, because and by the way, the fact that we're feeling that way, the fact that I'm getting that sentiment right now does mean that we could be getting tricked into it. It does mean that we could be getting put into a compromised position, and we could see just a massive bear candle play out. It is entirely possible. I don't want to I don't want to overstate this at all. Because of that, we could be looking at a massive downward punch. Okay, so again, make sure you hit the like button on the way in. Let's talk about it. Let's figure out what's going on before we get started. Guys, we've traded about 400,000 for the day. This is a pretty good day so far, and now it occurs to me that, son of a bitch, I'm in the wrong spot. We're gonna move over here. So for right now, since we've got our chat going on one side, we're gonna be on the other side right now. So and I don't know I'll get this shit set up for the next day. But oops. So anyway, good morning to everybody. Good morning to Masonic Mike, a member of the channel for 14 months now. By the way, he got in just like everybody else on wine, and we got in at a really low market cap. Wine ended up taking off, having a nice little move. But guess what? That's not the only one. There's a bunch of different things that have started to take off today. So make sure that you got your trades set up and ready to go. 400,000 for the day. Guys, I need $4 million every day in trade volume. So in order for that to happen, that's going to be on you. Now, let's look at our positions here. So just for full disclosure, I haven't bought any more OM this morning, but I got another $10 over the course of the day. So we're not going to buy any today because we're on a pump. I want to see whether or not the price is going to come back down before we buy more. Now we're at 57.50, which means that anytime we buy at this level is going to be a good buy. So, it's a real good opportunity here. Okay. I think that we're going to, I think that OM is ready for a big surge. Now, again, my DCA is 57 cents. So I don't think that we're going to be making a huge, I'm not looking to liquidate anything until we get a giant move off of it. So for right now, I'm not going to move too heavily or do anything, but I do want to hold on to just a few bucks there, just to say, just in case we get a little bit of a dip, I'm going to accumulate more. It's only $10. I'm not, we're not arguing $10 on this one, but we are looking for a big and significant move. Now, remember, $1 million futures on weeks. If you haven't already, $1 million is a lot, and they're giving it away. And let's look at what we're doing on our futures trades right now. We're up 21%, $10 on Ethereum. We're up 30% on Solana. We're down 26% on XRP. XRP had $60 million or 60 million tokens sold off by whales yesterday. Something going on over there. I think part of that had to do with the announcement from Brad Garlinghouse. And his announcement was, let me make sure I got this right. His announcement was that he's going to be in Washington, D.C., but that Cynthia Loomis had canceled his meeting. And then after canceling the meeting, did not reschedule the meeting, which means that she does not want to meet with him. That's going to be a problem, at least for XRP. So I think that this is a reaction to that news. Also, Bitcoin up 28% right now. Ondo seems to be about dead even. We're not looking to get out of that one. We're still going to hold on to that one for another big move. SWE is barely up, but up. And here's the one right now, OM. OM had a massive surge overnight. Now, it was not sustained. It did not sustain itself. Let's go look at the chart real quick. I'll show you guys what it looks like here. And really, it's not any better than it was the other day. So, we're not looking at this as if, there's no breakout yet. That 50 cent range has become resistance. So you see that surge came up to the top one more time. It's attempting a breakout. So you can see that that's happening right now. You're in a good position for another surge. Now, what you're looking for is new floor, right? So you got this. This was your floor. Well, let's call that the floor. And then we got another floor right here. So it does look like it's very small right now, but it does look like we're starting to stair step in the positive. Now, let's remove that and let's look at it and zoom out again. If we look at it from this context, what we were looking for was a breakout of, this little downward trajectory that we've been on right there. And we just got that breakout. Now, the breakout, this is on the 4 hour, by the way. When we start to look around and we start to see some of these moving averages, which I put on which I've put on the screen. When you start to look at those moving averages, you start to get a little bit more bullish. You think that, I think we're actually in a pretty good spot right now. So we got a massive surge, as you can see over here, off of the purple one is the 200, by the way, and the yellow is the 50. So you're about to see a bullish crossover. You're going to see a golden cross happen over here in the next few hours. Golden crosses are not much. You see that right there. Like it doesn't mean that there's going to be a huge move or anything like that. So don't take this for anything more on the hourly than maybe, just maybe, we get a little bit of a surge. Now, if you look at it from this context, that surge happened a few hours later, and it did not end up last time leading into a pump. So something's going to have to change. But we're certainly happy to see OM finally getting a tiny bit of a bounce from that bottom. And we're fortunate about this. By the way, we're not complaining about it today because of the important factor. The important factor is, very simply, we've DCA'd our way down so low on this that it's just a matter of time before it breaks out and starts to have an explosive rally. Now, 63 cents is my next spot for rejection. It's really going to be most likely, I guess we should probably come over here and say that most likely is going to be around 60 cents is where we get the biggest rejection. And the question is, can we surge up into that range? And I'm starting to think that it's going to happen. Like, I think today is the day that I don't know that we kick off the bull run, if you will. I don't know that we kick off altcoins, but altcoins are performing very, very well today. So we could be looking at the idea here is we've got to recapture a little bit of that magic. And I'm telling you right now, it starts with Ethereum and it flows down into Solana. And guess what? Ethereum is up 1.5% today, and Solana is up 0.6% along with Bitcoin. So Ethereum is up double what Bitcoin is, and that's what we want to see. We want to see Ethereum start to move and start to rally. But in the meantime, we're looking for OM to have a big breakout. Now, this is the charts for the last 24 hours. Trump 11%. First of all, let me say one more thing about Trump here. I think that Trump is going to be this is going to be the gem. This is going to be the gem of this cycle. Okay, we're going to move that out here into the center. The Trump meme coin, I think, is going to be the first one to 100 billion market cap. That is a huge move coming up. And Remember, tomorrow, Justin Sun, as one of the top holders, is going to be meeting with Donald Trump for a dinner, and they're going to be talking about cryptocurrency. So Justin Sun, by virtue of having a bunch of money, has put himself in a very advantageous financial position to sit down and break bread with the president of the United States. That is a big move. So let's not forget that. Now, I do think that Trump is about to dump. Now, why do I think that Trump is going to dump? And the answer to that is very, very simple. The reason for the pump that recently happened, the reason for that was because of this dinner. Well, that dinner is going to be over pretty soon. And then we go back to buy the rumor, sell the news. Well, the news is the event, and we are going to sell that news. So I would think that Trump is going to dump partially because of that, but also because once clarity starts to reign in, he hasn't really done anything to end the tariff war, if you will. You know, we're still not there. So there's going to be some sticking points, but it will not transfer to Doge. It will not transfer over to Pepe. It will not transfer over to Shiba Inu. It will not transfer over to Bonk. Ultimately, the Trump meme coin is going to be 100 billion, and it'll be the first one. Like I'm not betting on it. Okay, I'm a gambler in so much that I buy crypto thinking the price is going to go up, but I don't like just your standard, Vegas style gambling or anything like that. I just don't do that. Anyway, Fart Coin up 9%, Pi up 11%, Fetch 9%, Dog with Hat 11%. So we're having a nice little run on a lot of different tokens. Grass up 20%. We're not having a huge breakout candidate, but I think I got one. I think that we're going to see a huge run pretty soon. Fingers crossed on this one, but Init up 18.5%, Wemix 9%, SXT 25%. Again, moving around here, Cookie 37%, Chill Guy 24%, let's call it 8% there, Banana up 10%. So, good spots overall. But one of them that's on here, and I don't know where it is because it's, I don't know exactly how it broke out or where it has, what category it's in right now. But we actually had a breakout of Devi. I'm not sure how far it goes, 17% today. So Devi having a little bit of a reversal. There's no reason for this to happen, by the way. So here's what we got to talk about. Connex up 74%. How about that today? And Nobody, remember, Nobody 2's coming out pretty soon. I hope you saw the trailer for that. It was Nobody was a really good movie. Anyway, Devi up 17% today. What is going on with Devi? Nothing. So what is that about? Devi, what's going on today? Nothing. I mean, look, we've got your Devi daily roundup. Devi daily roundups don't move things, it doesn't move things 17%. So something is going on and causing a big move on DevE right now. The question, of course, is will it sustain itself as a move? And in my estimation, when we look at it, unless it pierces and goes up above 73, 74 cents, and maybe it will over the next couple of hours, maybe it will. But in order for, to confirm a breakout, and by the way, if you look at the hourlies, it's cooked. Like it's really, really high right now. I would suspect there'll be some profit taking along the way, specifically on Devi, because it's already breached 60 cents. 60 cents is right here. There's a lot of trade volume kind of like right in that range. And so it's broken through that. And it's not bounced back down. So it could be one of these big moves. It very well could be. And that would lead us up into the 73 range. I'm looking for some correction back down into 60 and then a bounce off of that. That would be the healthy move. And that would be the one that's not being manipulated. And that's what I want to see is I want to see a healthy correction to the upside on Devi and not something that just looks manipulated. If you just get a bunch of people buying in right now quietly, there's something going on in the background potentially. But I don't know. Again, I don't know what it is. Somebody just asked for the Puff contract address. Puff currently trading at 1372 right now. That's not the all-time high. The all-time high is a couple of hours ago. It went up to $14.93, which was 1.49 cents, basically 1.5 cents, which I told you, by the way, yesterday, 1.5 cents is going to be the next spot. And what did it do? Of course it did, because Believes called it. Now, why are we bullish on this? I'm going to post this before we get started here. I'm going to put this in. There is your address for Puff. Now, for those of you that don't know, Altcoin Daily has stepped into the arena, and Altcoin Daily will be releasing a Puff video today. Let's go ahead and talk about that real quick. Altcoin Daily. Altcoin Daily is in just a little while. And by the way, I'm not sure. And matter of fact, I can't even say it's going to be today for sure, because I don't know. But it is my understanding that there will be at some point today or tomorrow, sometime, there's going to be a video for Puff on Altcoin Daily. If that happens, the last time, by the way, 1.6 million subscribers will be looking at this video, or at least have it in their feed in some point. And, if you got 58,000 views over here, and you got 64,000 views over here, and 62,000 people pay attention to what Aaron and Austin do. And look, I put somebody over to them to make a video not that long ago. And this whole ecosystem, I'm expecting this entire ecosystem to be hooking these guys up and doing some videos over here, because, I only have so much capital in this arena, and I don't know these guys very well. So when I refer somebody over there, you do business with them. You don't just walk over to them with your big swinging D, like, I'm going to take care of everything right here. And then when you get in the chat with them, because I arranged this chat, right? And then all of a sudden they don't do business. Like, I can't have that. You know what I mean? So hopefully everybody in this little ecosystem is going to be doing business with Altcoin Daily pretty soon. And we're going to see a nice little move here on a bunch of different projects. So, but I don't know. I don't know for sure. But here's what I do know. Right now, Puff is having a nice big move. I do think, by the way, that by the time we're done here, we're probably looking at somewhere. I wanted to say 6 cents. I wanted to say somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 cents, because that's going to be 60 million market cap. This could go up to 100 million market cap. And if it gets a little bit of excitement, if it gets just a tiny bit of people motivated to move on it, then you could see this one be the next breakout candidate, and you could see, you could see this thing run up to 1 billion market cap. I won't be there for that, by the way. Full disclosure. I am, when the momentum stops on it, I'm up so much right now. When the momentum stops, I'm out. I'm going to have a moon bag. I'll be holding on to, a few thousand or something like that. I'm gonna hold on to that and see what happens. Now, a lot of people are asking some interesting questions here. First of all, where do you buy Puff? Jupiter, you go to Jupiter, or you go to Radium. Either one of those is where you can buy it, or you can buy it in your Phantom wallet. Puff contract is a couple comments up, Karen. But here's the important part to it, right? It's nowhere, right? This is why it's so intriguing and so interesting, and why I think that Puff is going to be super exciting. So we put in Puff. There's no Puff here, okay? Little Puff does not exist in the tracking mechanisms for like CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, or anything like that. And there's a very specific reason that this has happened, okay? This team is looking to naturally move this first, and they want to build it up so that it's ready for an explosive move when the timing is right. When you look at the volume over here, you can't be anything more than impressed with the volume, which is in the neighborhood of around $900,000. So there's a good amount of people out here trading this right now, and that's going to mean that any moment now you're going to get a listing. That listing is going to be probably MEXC or OKX, or you never know who it's going to be. But I would assume if they want to expand their base, which they do, then you're going to see just something big happen over here. Remember when we did this the last time? This was the same team. The same team did team up. Tema ran up to a 66 million market cap, currently 2 million market cap, basically just, but when you look at the markets, where was it listed? Of course, it was listed on Radium. Everything is. But MEXC, Bitmart, XT, Ascendex, BVOX, SuperX, and Bitcoin. And the important parts are going to be the big exchanges, right? The big exchanges are MEXC, Bitmart, XT. I think Ascendex pretty big too. So that's where the big money is. And guess what? They're also reasonably They also reasonably list a lot of meme coins. So guess what? You're going to see probably MEXC. You're going to see Bitmart. You're going to see XT.com. I would think that OKX on this one would be in the cards. I don't know for sure. I have no idea. KCEX sitting right there as a sponsor, also a sponsor of this channel. You can see that right up there. So there's a lot going on. Again, it has not happened, any of it, for Puff at this point, but it will. And when it does, it's going to get absolutely bonkers and absolutely crazy. Now, I don't know that they even have an official, at this point, I don't even know if they have an official Twitter. So they've got an official Twitter here. Little Puff right now, Little Puff Coin, only 454 followers. Let's give that a follow right now. It's going to be at Little Puff with 1, 2, 3, looks like underscores at the end of it. So I think it is my opinion that this is the perfect day for it too, by the way. If the market allows it, then we could be looking at a massive move on Puff happening and playing out real time right in front of our eyes. Now, I don't know if it will or not, but if they do, they're going to turn on the machines. The machines are going to be whale investors, altcoin daily, whale investors. I could just see this thing going parabolic at this point. Remember, it was 23 days into it when Tema went absolutely nuts. Well, guess what? Here we are again at 23 days, maybe 24 days, something like that, for Puff. And we could be looking at that crazy, crazy, crazy run getting ready to play out. And by the way, who else has a chart that looks like this going into this? I mean, look, say what you want. We got in at 47,000 market cap. We're at 13.6 million market cap right now. A little 3 or 4X takes us up just to 50. You know what I mean? Like just a 50. That's a pretty good run. Now, that capital, by the way, don't forget this. And I did a spaces yesterday, and we didn't really talk about it, but don't forget there's going to be a rotation, and that rotation shows up most likely in Blocky. Now, will it for sure? I don't know. I have no idea whether it will or will not show up in Blocky, but I can tell you this. Roger, this is Roger's project, Blocky. And this is his baby. And here's the thing. Roger is one of the biggest investors in Puff, and so are a lot of other people. Now, I did have some comments on X where people were complaining because of this, because they just want you to shut the fuck up and hold Dev E and don't ever sell and don't ever talk about another project. And it's unfair if you use the word Dev E and you talk about anything, just, maxi bullshit behavior. Fuck those guys. You know what I mean? Not Dev E. Dev E is a fine project, but people who are maxis over here who are like, you can't talk about this project if you're on this project. Fuck you. Can't tell me what to do. Won't you make like a tree and suck somebody's D? You know what I mean? Did I make that rhyme? Did that rhyme? Whoa, look at me. It's like I'm a poet and didn't know it. I'm just messing around. So anyway, guys, look, it's crazy that these maxis are out here with their BS. And anyway, so that money will rotate. Now, not Roger's money, but money will rotate from Puff to Blocky. Some will go from Puff into what's the other one? Devi. Some will go into Fias. Some will go into that Pepe Cubed. I think they're doing something new. I don't know anything about that. I've already sold. I told you guys the other day. I got my money out of it, so I'm cleared out of Pepe Cubed. I'm cleared out of whatever other ones there are. I still have some Winecoin, but I bought and sold on Winecoin. I got that top right now. Guess what? Now you've got another big dip, and there is a big opportunity right here. What I tell you. There's that range. There's that range. We broke down below that range, which means that this is the next top right here, right there. And we barely got to that range, right? So there's this spot right here with the little dip right there. Well, guess what? You're in this range. it's on its way back up. So it is my opinion that that we're going to see a big move on Winecoin coming very, very soon. Now, here's the part where you get excited, right? So not lotion excited, guys, just excited. All right. Just take it out of your hand. Stop touching it. Jesus Christ. It's a show. Stop touching it. God damn. Anyway, the next move right here to me looks like it would be right up into this little range right here. So, you know, you could be looking at a little bit over $1 million market cap, That's a huge move. That's going to be another 4X for you on Winecoin, just a matter of time. So, there you go. Like I would grab that as well. So, but let's get back into it. So we've got Devi having a little bit of a rip. We got Puff pumping a little bit. There's still a bunch of things happening, right? Let's keep moving on here. We're at 70 on Fear and Greed Index. Nothing really to talk too much about, but Bitcoin price is less than 2% away from the all-time high. Is 110K possible today? That's the question that everybody's asking right now. And look at the way Bitcoin has responded. It did not even, this is the 1 hour, by the way. This is crazy. Like it didn't even bother. We got our sell order very, very close, by the way. So we'll make a decision when we get up there. But that bounce came at about 106,126. So, and it didn't even bother to touch the 50. Right? It didn't even hit the SMA. So we are in a very bullish trend right now, at least on that 1 hour. When we move out to the daily, we're still looking at a massive, massive run up happening right here. So we're going to get, by the way, I do think we'll get one more chance at 100,000. I'm going to keep the buy order at 100,000, set for 100,000 just in case. But I do think that this sell order is going to get triggered. And that we're going to have a move up into 110. And then from there, I think we will correct back down. Now, Selmo says, no way, not today. Au contraire, mon frère. And I don't know, by the way, that he is right or I'm right, because you never know. Okay. Timing the market, it's impossible. But here's the indicators that you want to look at, right? We're up 20 billion on the day. This thing right here, this is a daily MACD. The MACD went red and then green and then red and now two greens. That is bullish. That is incredibly bullish. That means that the market, the bears are losing. Okay. That's really what that means. We had this massive run here. We've had this massive capital inflow that's really taken Bitcoin from 73,000, I want to say. 74, let's call it 70. We're going to call it 74,000. So from 74,000, we've had this massive run right here, and it looks like we're about to have a little bit of a dip, but it doesn't, it's reversing itself immediately. And here's the thing right now, remember Strategy has 576,000 Bitcoin. BlackRock investors have now put in over 620,000 Bitcoin. That means that these big institutions are eating up the supply. When we look at the flow right now, we're looking at Bitcoin on exchanges. It's continuing to go down. I could show you the chart. I guess, God damn it, I'll show you the chart. But when you look at it, it's crazy that the exchange reserves are coming down so drastically. Remember, I told you that we had a little bit of a spike a couple days ago. Well, it's back down even more. The amount of Bitcoin on exchanges is at an all-time low. Now, there is a metric on the DXY. The DXY, if you pay attention to that, is kind of sitting at 99 right now. Had a nice little surge back again. But, you know, look, this is what happened. It's down 10% over a short period of time. When it comes down like this, that's good for risk assets, right? So what we're looking at is that MACD crossover right there into bearish territory before a continuation. And that looks like it's going to come down, right? So what we're looking at on the DXY is zoom out, and we're bearish on the DXY. Why are we bearish on the DXY? Because it's coming down and it's minting lower lows. And what that means is people are going to be looking for risk places to put their risk assets. So that means that something, or well, a hedge against this kind of shit really is what they're looking for. So it's going to be gold. It's going to be Bitcoin. But guess what? Bitcoin is now being held by more people. By the way, I just put out a short. Bitcoin is now being held by more people. 50 million in the United States than gold at 37 million. That is absolutely crazy. And make sure, by the way, D Trent, like he says, go smash that like button, because if you don't, you might turn the frogs gay. You never know. So just to be on the safe side, make sure you hit that like button on the way in. Now, I would expect that the Dixie is going to get a bounce, but it's going to come back down into this 97 range before we get another breakdown, another breakout, or an attempt at a breakout. But then once you get up to this range right here, then you have to start talking about, that wedge right there. How far down do we go? Do we have a couple more bounces before that happens? That's the question. And I do think that if we're right about this, if we're right about where the market is and how the market is playing out, then we could see that. Now, the other thing to it is, let's move that down here just a little bit, and let's look at it from this context right here in the shorter time frame. When you get to the shorter time frame, it looks even more, I think we're headed down. So I think that the Dixie is probably going to break down. And when that happens, we're going to see a lot more risk asset coming into the market. So we're going to keep watching, and we'll see what happens. Devi still kind of sitting at, so it's sitting at 15. Sellers are not stepping in to sell on Devi, so that's a really good sign. So again, we might be looking, we have to break the trend at about 75 cents or something like that. You got to break out of there. If we do, then yeah, we're going to be bullish again. But for right now, we need to see it actually happen. But again, we'll take big days whenever we can get those big days. Now, Bitcoin price set for 110,000 perhaps today. Let's move on to Luna Classic real quick. Luna Classic prop 12,176 is now going back to 12,180 because what it is the liquidity injection between Luna Classic and USDC, and that was approved. Sitting on the sidelines, all nodes. Now, you guys know I've been talking about all nodes. They are a bad actor in this space. I think that they are villainy. I think that they are scum. I think that they are on the level of a Happy Caddy Crypto, who I'm not a fan of, not because of anything that he said, other than the fact that this creepy little dude addresses me in a Telegram, starts shit talking me, and then deletes it. Like, what kind of little bitch ass weak boy does that kind of shit? Like, who does that? Ooh, you little scumbag. You'll talk shit to me and then just delete it, bitch. God damn. Anyway, so that's an old proposal, by the way. Just my link here. There's the messaging right now. Interstellar Lounge, another bad actor with 54. Look at all the staking that these people have. By the way, don't think for a second that these guys are not making a really good amount of money by holding on to these stakes every single month. They are playing with you if they try to say, oh, I'm broke. Happy Caddy Crypto is not broke. He's got $43 billion in that stake right now. And he with vetoed it. And then also Interstellar Lounge with vetoed it. And all nodes sat this one out. They sat this one out. They didn't affect it because they understand. They hear me, by the way. They hear me. And guess what? People started undelegating. People started undelegating because they don't appreciate when people like this, when these low rent scumbags start trying to block progress for you. And you're the investor. They should be protecting you. They shouldn't be deciding for you what's good for you. And that's what they were doing. They were tipping the scale, and they were using their high voting power to tip the scales. Now, when you zoom out, guess what? Not a lot of no's. There's just these two little babies over here with their no with veto. Now, the other thing was to that the that Terraport and Terra Swap both got their liquidity injections, so you now have off ramps, or at least you have better off ramps. Also, we're friends with Discover Crypto again, which is wild. But billionaire Michael Novogratz says Bitcoin is going to 150,000 very, very soon. I agree. I said 171,000 was going to be the next move. Well, 124,096 is, in my mind, is going to be the exact number. Am I going to be right with that? No, of course not. But I'm going to keep saying it because to me, for some reason, that just, I'm going to ignore it when I'm wrong. But anyway, I think that there's going to be a really good move. And you will see it it equals gold's 20 trillion market cap. By the way, it's outperforming gold in all measures right now. In every way, in mass adoption, in everything. So guess what? Yeah, Bitcoin will have a $20 trillion market cap at some point, and that's $1 million per Bitcoin. And remember, 21 million Bitcoin is the maximum. 58 million millionaires in the world. Not every millionaire can even have one Bitcoin. If you have one Bitcoin today, you are ahead of the millionaires. The only variable is time at this point. So, very interesting how this could or should play out. Also, DWF Labs, remember, I'm bullish on OM. I think that OM is going to have a remarkable recovery. DWF Labs just withdrew 2 million of its mantra and moved it over to Binance. So we could see a big surge coming very, very soon for OM to continue on. I don't know yet. It's going to take a little while. Maybe it plays out. Maybe it doesn't. In the meantime, we also had a nice little move. Now, it hasn't been sustained. We need some sustainable moves. We're getting a little bit of a breakout from Speedy, up 20%. CC coin at 25.83, recovering nicely from what happened the other day. And what happened the other day, the Blockchain Beauties launch, it apparently it got kind of, so what ended up happening was people, because you had to buy CC coin, people bought CC coin and it pumped it up significantly. And then they used it to buy Blockchain Beauties. Then they made their money and they sold off on both of them because they were just traders trying to look for a launch and an opportunity. So we'll see. We'll see what happens going forward. I think that ultimately I remain incredibly bullish on CC, on BCB, and I think this is going to be a great ecosystem. CC rewards, by the way, down 5% today, but they were surging again yesterday. So I remain bullish on it. So if you don't have any CC coin, I'm telling you, you're making a mistake. Again, I would assume that CC coin has a date with 10 million market cap. That's about a 50x from where we are right now. So, and that's going to be my guess. But again, what do I know? Oh yeah, everything. Oh God, I can't believe I gave you a 278x. I gave you, and by the way, who's tipping out here? Like, Jesus fucking Christ, I gave you Puff at 47,000 market cap. Now, if you faded because you're a brokey and you just like, ooh, then that's on you, boo-boo. But yeah, when you cash out, you better be tipping the barber, if you know what I mean. Like, Jesus Christ, you should have made an absolute ton. I put $50 in, and my $50 is worth like $7,000 so far, and I've already cashed out 500. So you tell me. I mean, don't be cheap. Anyway, let's see, where were we? Bitcoin. So we're going to hold out for Bitcoin to 109. The next surge is going to be 124,096. We're almost there. Like, we're so close. We just hit 108,000 just a little while ago. And look at this. It's curling up. This is the 1 hour. It is curling up to make another move. So when Selmo says it's not going to 110,000 today or 109,000 today or an all-time high today, I don't think so. I don't think he's right. I'm not sure. By the way, I'm not saying it's going to sustain. I'm not sure it's going to sustain, obviously, at that level, but I do think that we're going to get that surge into that all-time high, and we're going to start getting the sellers who want to sell the top. We're going to get them out, and then we're going to see a crazy surge. Like, because look, what if I'm one of them? If I'm institution, I'm gonna cause you to sell. I'm gonna put you up here. I'm gonna boom. Now you're part of the all-time high. Now you need to sell off. You need to cash out on that all-time high and wait for the dip, right? I think that's when institution is going to be, I'm going to leave your asses behind, okay? And I think you're about to see some really crazy candles coming from Bitcoin. That's what it looks like to me. I'm leaving my sell order at 109. Now, if it goes up to 124, comes back down to 100, that's going to be a great, I mean, that's exactly what that's exactly what we're looking for. If we're calling this right, and I think that we're calling it right, then, that's a significant move. I mean, this is where we are, guys. The bull run is here. It's just a matter of time. Okay. It's just a matter of time. And we got Pump It is on sale at a nice discount. Looks like Pump It might be showing back up on the radar. Look, I've talked to those guys. I haven't talked to them about 30 days. I think they were waiting for a little bit. They were waiting for a few different things to happen that were going to be beneficial to their market, and then they're going to move on that. So we're going to leave our sell order in anyway at Bitcoin and 109,000. Look, I'm nervous about that. I think that next surge is going to be way up here, but I would like to have the ability to just take that money and do something else with it and decide on a better position. I didn't catch the exact bottom on this long, so I would like to be able to catch the bottom of the next one. So we're getting out at 109, and we'll see what happens from there. XRP, now look, when you look at it on the hourly, again, we came down. I told you guys, if you're going to set a buy order yesterday, what did I say? I said, if you're going to set a buy order, it's going to be 228. And guess what? We got 228. So now the question is, can we get a surge up into that next level, which is going to be about 270? And I think that 270 is coming. The motivation doesn't appear to be poor. Okay. I don't think that the motivation is bad right now. And by the way, there's $24 billion in the market. We're starting to see the capital flowing out of alts, which were surging up until a few moments ago. Now we're starting to see Bitcoin surge. So I got a feeling that we're about to see Bitcoin hit that all-time high. So again, I'm excited. This is one of those days. This is one of those days where you get really excited. As a matter of fact, now that we're doing this on this, that's my background, by the way. Now let's see if we can do this over here. And then I like that better. Do I like that better? Do I? I don't know. Let's see. What's the other one here? That was display 3. Where's display 1? There we go. Now it looks like I'm facing the right way, which might be better. I don't know. Anyway, so it looks like we're surging over here, getting a nice little run. Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ethereum's going to have a breakout here. I think we're going to see that top again very, very quickly, 2750. I do think that we're in a pretty good position there. Solana is right there at the breakout point. If we get this move right here and we get a little surge and we get a little back test right there, then I think we're on to 200. We're going to see a big move from Solana as well. I don't remember where we had our take profit on that one. It escapes me at this point. I should have put it on the screen. Duh. But the other thing is we're getting closer and closer and closer to that rate cut. So we could be seeing something big happening very, very soon. Bitcoin starting to surge a little bit. Actually, capital is flowing right now into the market. We're up $30 billion on the day. Ondo breaking its way out just a little bit. I would expect to see a surge, by the way, back up to the top of this range on Ondo coming up very, very soon. And then a surge up into $1.20, which is where we took our profit right there. Okay. SWE. SWE is, and that SWE, by the way, look at this, it broke completely out and completely down. Came into our buy zone, which was 364. Now, I don't know what's going to happen there, but it looks pretty bullish to me because it just hit that spike. New buyer stepped in. It started to do what it was doing over here, but when it does that, it's been breaking towards the upside. So I think that this is just a long-term sort of play out. If you look at this from this context and say, well, you know what, this structure right here, same as this structure right here. And what happened on that final rip? Boom, you had a nice move. And then that nice move ended up going to, where is that? Up to the top here. So if we look at it from here, then we're talking about a move to about $5, which, by the way, pull this out a little bit. Guess what? Matches up perfectly. So we could be seeing a surge to $5 for SWE coming very, very soon. All the indicators to me look like we're about to get that kind of big move. So we'll see what happens there. Again, on OM on the hourly, we had that big surge, came up to about 51 cents. Now we've had that buyback or that dump back down into it. If we look at it on a fib, it's already come down into that 786 range. We get a range like that, then we expect a strong bounce. So if you're lucky enough to get in at about 40 cents right now, 40.7. So I would say 41 cents. If you set yourself a buy right there, I don't think you're gonna be disappointed. I think that there is a surge coming right now, that we're starting to see the groundwork laid. And by the way, just so you guys understand, when you see a candle like this and you get that, basically this is somebody, a whale coming in. They're making buys and they're trying to push the price and they're trying to force you to sell to get out of the way so that next level can be obtained, right? So a big run here. Boom. Now sellers are starting to sell off. And now the new buyers that were coming in are going to continue their surge and they're going to step in. So I think that's what we're going to see. That'll be a big run. So, just my idea, my guess here, and a lot of it's based on the way the market is lined up right now. Also, Devi, again, now we're getting a red candle, which means that the run with Devi could be over if we don't have new buyers step in. We got about 14 minutes left on this candle. But if we mint a red candle here, then I would expect to move back down into those SMA ranges, because that broke out way above the SMA. So I would suspect a move back down to 57 cents at minimum before continuation on. And that SMA for the 50 right there, maybe again 57. We could see that just kind of happen over the next few hours before we get a surge. We might not even see a surge. I don't know what led to this buy pressure that just happened right there. And I don't think that it's going to be sustained if it's not something cool. You know what I mean? So we'll see whether or not it matters. I don't know. I don't like this position, by the way. I don't like this. This monitor over here kind of sucks. Also, there's my backer on that monitor. We're going to move back over to the other monitor. I like that one way better. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to figure out my best sort of range right there. So my bad. And we're going to go back to this display 3 and boom. All right. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I just, that angle, just, yeah, gross. We'll figure out the rest of this later on. Anyway, so if again, you're getting a little bit of sell off, if it doesn't maintain, if we don't get a little pump, then there's way more dump to come. So we're going to close that out right now, and we're going to come back over here. We're going to look at the watch list right now. Speedy's up 20%, Devi's up 15.9%, Fias is up 14.8%, Little Puff hitting a new all-time high almost again, up 13.54%. Again, I don't see anything from Altcoin Daily at this point, but we'll see. We'll see whether it happens or not. Blockchain Beauty's up 10% on the day. TAR's up another 7%. CC Coin up 6%, almost 7% today. Blocky up 3%. That's not a lot of move. Again, a lot of the money that comes into Blocky is going to be coming from another project. So, we'll see whether or not that gets maintained. And actually, I think right there. Is that good right there? Yeah, that's good right there. We'll be right next to the chat. That way we can look at all your chat and I can be like, what the fuck did you just say? Are you out of your mind? Jesus Christ. The Super Bowl shuffle. We're not here to start no trouble. Also, by the way, let's take that moment. The Bears, rest in peace, George Wendt. For those of you who don't know, he played Norm on Cheers. He also played one of the Bears guys on Saturday Night Live for a lot of years. Rest in peace, George Wendt. You are going to be missed. You were a legend. You were a great comedian in the space and a brilliant actor. And the world is not a better place without you in it. So salute to you, my friend. Also, No one will know. This is one in that attention economy that's just kind of laying around sort of listless, but I think that it's going to pump as well. Just a matter of time. Again, the attention is moving around, but I think that attention only lasts for so long. And then that's kind of it. There we go. All right. So we've made it to the end of the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. Again, I think Puff will start a big surge today. It's going to be my estimation that Puff is headed to a 50 or 60 million market cap. If it goes higher than that, I'm going to be ecstatic about it, but I'm not going to expect it. What I'm going to expect is a nice little surge from Puff that we're going to take a little bit of profit along the way. We're going to buy ourselves some, I don't know, maybe a new camera, something like that. Maybe we'll buy something nice. A new dress for me. Only for Thursday night. But anyway, I think we're going to have a nice little surge from Puff. We'll get a nice little surge from Puff. Then we'll get a nice little surge from Blocky, I want to say. And then during that whole thing, a lot of the people that are in there, they're going to put their money back into Devi. And they're going to be looking for a huge surge. They're going to be looking for a huge surge from Devi as well. So that's it. That's the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are the best. And well, I'm the best. You're kind of close. You know what I mean? Like, look, if we were on a team, I'd be the captain, obviously. But, you guys would be my offensive line. I would be your quarterback, and we would win the Super Bowl. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. The one thing that you can do for me, other than give me money, the one thing that you can do for me is always make sure that you hit that like button. And always when you see my content anywhere on X or anywhere else, is just share it. Share it with other people. As you might have noticed, I'm doing shorts now. I'm doing a lot more shorts than I was doing regular long form content. So, we're going to continue doing that and we'll see how it goes. It's not financial advice, but I'm always right.